before the 7 seals are torn away. Whether it be plague, natural disaster, mass hysteria, nuclear fallout, zombies, alien invasion, or mankind's inevitable AI war. For when the bullets run out, the knives are too short, and life is on the line. What tactical low-maintenance survival tools will you use to protect your life in those broken future days? Be prepared. All right, guys, listen, Siberia has some really, really great products. The APOC line is just growing and growing and growing with all these new designers kind of getting involved with APOC and adding in their own input and flair into an otherwise just kind of plain mundane type of style. Not to say Gus Trim has bad models, it's just that they all have just a very plain Jane type of look. APOC style, like survival type of knives, type of swords and recreations of the katana and things like that. But it's just nice to see a little bit of a colorful flair, to see different types of steels being used and just overall different styles, giving you some really good APOC, apocalypse, end of days type of tools, but giving you something with a little flair and a little substance and style. Jason Breeden, guys, before I go any further, Jason Breeden is a world-class designer. He designs for Condor, Spyderco, just the list goes on and on and on, and he's doing some really great work for Siberia. His line, which is called the Fallout Breeden series, the Fallout series from Breeden, Jason Breeden, he is going to be on Blade Talk with Scab and I coming up Tuesday the 2nd. That's the Tuesday after Labor Day. So it's going to be, I believe, the 2nd he's coming on to Blade Talk. So definitely look out for the come-ups or the thumbnails that are going to go out very soon, and you'll see how to get into the live on my channel and obviously on Scab's channel, Quiet Boys Outdoors. We're going to be talking to him about his line, about all his work that he does with Siberia, and I'll mention it at the end as well. This particular short sword, it could be like a reverse tanto, a sack-style sword. Some people call it a wakizashi. You can call it whatever the hell you want, but don't call it a machete. It does machete-style things, but it's definitely not a machete. You're talking about a 5.5 millimeter spine, and it only tapers up to about 4 millimeters at the tip. This thing is a hulking piece of steel. It is definitely not bendable, not flexible. It does machete-style things, but please do not call it a machete, because it's definitely a lot stronger than a machete. When I think of a machete, I think of like a flexible, thin, you know, something that kind of bounces in your hand and is very light and nimble. This is definitely, can do all the machete-style things, but definitely not a machete. This is definitely a hard hitter and a really good slicer. Now, I took a little bit of a different approach with this thing, guys, because normally I kind of take it, I do my B-roll, I do my photography with it, and then I cut with it afterwards. But as soon as I put this thing in my hand, guys, I felt like this thing was going to be a lot of fun to cut with, and I just immediately started cutting with it right away. I never did that before. So it does have a couple of scratches and blemishes. It's still pretty good shape, the blade, while I show you some B-roll. But it's, I tell you, this thing is just a lot of fun to cut with. And as soon as I felt this the first time, I said, oh man, I got to start cutting with this thing right away. So you can see basically my earlier video, I did a lot of bottle cuts, sliced through everything really well. So easy to manipulate and move around. It's such a comfortable blade to hold. It's a great one-handed operation, but it has the surface area, it has the purchase and the real estate to kind of hold it up in two hands if you want to use it as a two-handed type of weapon. But it's so light and nimble with a point of balance, a POB of around 2¼ inches. It's definitely, I mean, look at how that thing goes around. I mean, it's perfect. 2¼ inches is the point of POB. It's perfectly balanced and perfectly easy to kind of wield with one hand, doing your backhand, doing your forward hand, doing your reverse grip. I mean, you could hold this any way you want. It's a fun sword to swing around. It's a hulking piece of steel, so it's a very solid piece of steel that you can do a lot of hard work with it and hard cuts with it, you know, the zombie skulls and all that stuff. It is made to be an apocalyptic type of weapon, but it's made with such great style. And you can see also initially I went into like a 2x4 with this thing, and it cut it so well. And I didn't think there was going to be any damage, not many vibrations. It just handled itself really well. Nothing loosened up. It's just a rough and tough type of sword, a slicer and a rough sword. It's just a lot of combinations. This sword has many different combinations of things that you can do with it. That's why it's so much freaking fun. So let's get to it, guys. I believe this is a differentially hardened type of blade because it does have a spine of around 40 HRC and edge, which is a 50 HRC. So I would lead me to say that this is probably like a differentially hardened type of blade. It's got a two-tone, really beautiful satin finish, 1075 high carbon steel blade at 18¼ inches, absolutely perfect to kind of wield around with one hand. It can do so much with this thing. Thickness, like I said, 5.5 inches on the spine and only tapers to about 4 millimeters at the tip. It is just a big hulking piece of steel. This really is a massive thing to hold in your hand, but still light and nimble and easy to manipulate. It's only about 1 pound and 15 ounces in weight. Now, the handle is really what gives it that Japanese type of bravado, that Japanese kind of influence is the handle. You have a black canvas and G10, red G10 accents to give it a sense of a Japanese tsukamaki type of handle. Okay, that kind of like diamond type of look. I love how this looks. And being a sword guy and being somebody who loves swords and love katana, when I saw this line, I said, wow, this is a line for me. I really fell in love with how this thing looks. It gives me the sense of having some kind of a Japanese weapon in my hand, but also something that can do a lot more than just a Japanese sword can do. You can chop wood in it with this. You can clear brush. You can do a lot of things with this thing and know that it's going to basically be perfectly fine on the other side of all of that. It's made to be a strong APOC functionality, but it also has a really unique and visually striking short sword. It really impresses me with its looks, its performance, being so slicey and so tough while being so comfortable and easy, very, very easy to wield. Now you can see also the second cuts I did with it, which is the new suspended cuts that I'm doing. I was able to kind of slice through everything, change directions. It was such a pleasure to cut with and use. Now I went a little bit harder with it. I have some frozen water bottles, a couple of them, and I wanted to cut through the frozen water bottles to show you how tough the sword can be while also still being very slicey. That was a lot of fun to do. A lot of fun to cut those frozen bottles. It cut it so well, no pressure whatsoever. The edge is absolutely fine. It's just a hell of fun to do that. I think I'm gonna start using some frozen water bottles again, but this thing sailed through that with absolute ease. It's a really, really tough sword. Like I said, it can do machete style stuff, but do not call it a machete. It will do your brush clearing. You can treat it as a machete. You can do anything that you want to do because it just stays lively in your hand, doing everything you need to do with it. And it's very sharp and it stays sharp. It's got a pretty good edge retention. Nice heat tempering from what I can see, even with all the chopping I did with it before and now. Yeah, one or two-handed operation are fine. It's just hell of a lot of fun to kind of use this thing. Now in this line also there is the Torrent, which is kind of like a version of this, smaller, and it's a POC, like a fixed blade, like a smaller fixed blade type of knife, and also the neck knife, which is awesome, which I've shown on other videos, and also the folder. So he has a lot of really good line going on with this Fallout series. So all I can say about this, guys, this is an end of days type of weapon, but it's also something that, you know, before the end of days, it's something if you want to clear brush with this thing, or if you want to just have something so damn cool to have a lot of fun with, kind of just cutting bottles, cutting things up, I think this is basically that knife. I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting with this thing. I've done a lot of cutting with this thing so far, a lot more cutting than I've ever done before I actually did the review, but I gotta tell you, this felt always good in the hand. Some people had asked me without the guard if this kind of slipped. At no point in time did I feel like my hand was kind of slip off into the blade. It does have a swell here, which is pretty much all you need to kind of keep your hand in place. And this has got a nice grippy handle. So even just doing the big hulking swings that I was doing, I felt like it was staying perfectly comfortable and firm in my hand. With one-handed operation or two-handed operation, doing hard cutting or doing slicing, it always felt firm in the hand. So that's just to answer a question that some people had as far as not having a guard. So Jason Breeden, excellent job on this Fallout series. I really love this Derecho sword. Looking forward to having you on Blade Talk coming up. Look out for it on my channel, on Scared Channel, Quiet Boys Outdoors. The blade is in just wonderful shape still. I really love the look, the feel of this thing, how it works and how it feels in the hand. This is just like one of the funnest swords that I was able to test in a long time, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun continuing to use this. So it's great, guys. It's a slicer, it's a banger. It's something that basically you want to hang up on your wall and show off. It's a great, great looking sword. Whatever you want to call it, however you want to use it, it's going to handle it. Really, really, very, very impressed with the sword. And take a look at it on the links that I'm going to leave below. Not a bad price, and I think it's something that's going to be attainable for everybody. Okay, great job, Jason, and looking forward to seeing you on Blade Talk. Stay tuned for the torrent that's going to be coming up next on the line of these Breeden Survival Tools.